Hello viewers. Well, today we saw rain was finally added to Gran Turismo Sport, something we've been waiting for some time. Today it was added to the Red Bull Ring for a tryout. So I had a stream this afternoon where I tried out the with standard racing soft tyres, intermediate tyres and wet tyres, just to see what the different tyres were like. Here's how I got on. I'm braking earlier to counter, so definitely slower through these corners. I can't lean on the tyres as I would normally in the dry. So there's a lot to learn. Need to do quite a few laps to fully understand sausage curb felt a bit slippery as well then. General look and feel is nice though. There's just no, it's rain but there's no droplets on the screen, and I think that's a bit of a shame. Braking a bit earlier this time. Aggressive on the power. Don't really want to spin out there. There's a lot more time to find though. I'm not pushing limits. It's more about cruise round. You know, you don't need to be completely on it straight away. You're just going to fall off. Got on the brakes a bit too much while turning there on the curb. I don't think I would use these curbs. Oh, carrying too much speed. I don't think I'd use those curbs so much in the rain normally. Shows how much time there is to be found. You know, 1.5 seconds ahead then. That's my fault there. I was trying something out, it didn't work out. As soon as I came off the brake then, the car really fell away from me. Don't know whether child braking might be better for something like that. We'll wait and see. Slightly put off by my ghost there then. JD Max is here. What's the consensus? No consensus yet. I just need to do more testing. I'm literally here doing my testing. Okay, tried to get on the power too early then, so let's retry. Actually, let's exit for a second. Go with intermediate tyres. See if these work better. Right, let's try these out now. So intermediate tyres then, we're going to have a look at these, try them out. And again. So immediately I have a feeling of more grip for sure. The car's not sliding as much. It's much more controlled. It's my first time on the intermediate tyres. I've never used them in Gran Turismo before, obviously, because there's no wet weather. And immediately I feel there's more bite, more grip. But I'm braking late there and it wasn't having it, so going to have to find the right braking point. This is the thing, when you change tyres, you know, it's completely changes the feel. As I say, in reality you wouldn't do that. You'd just brake at the normal time and then find your feet. So let's see if we can close on this guy in front of us, this dude. could see under braking there. Big difference. Slow on the power. I actually broke a little bit too much for the corner and compromised the exit, but you can see the traction now, can't you? I mean, we've got way more traction on the intermediate if you're really going to nail the intermediate. You see how it's hugging the apex much more now, whereas we were understeering all the way around that earlier. So more lateral movement in the car on the softer tyre, as you would expect to an extent. I still think there's too much grip on the white lines and the curbs, mind you. Having said that, a lot of racetracks now paint curbs and white lines with grippy paint. So a lot of these Formula 1 tracks actually have grippy curbs now, and I actually don't agree with that. I don't think they should have things like that. Using all the track legally, it seems, sadly. One thing I disagreed with on the late great Charlie. So much more comfortable to drive, and again I think when you see this in daily races, this is a Mark 1 test, if you like, as we enter the final chapter of the PS4 as the main Sony console. Oh, trying to brake too late that time, you see, and then get on the power to make up for my understeering, and time was lost. I tried to keep my foot in then, but it wouldn't have it. Had to be progressive through that corner. Okay, might swap my steering wheel over in a second. Into. Corner opens on the exit. This corner seems more unsighted when using this camera view, certainly than it would do during the day. Understeering badly through there, so lost a lot of time. Rear end standing out, lost a lot of time. And I've gone wide. No, too much speed. A lot more time to find here. Need to get that down to 143s really. Shame there's no water on the screen though. Sort of an old-fashioned type of rain that is. It's no droplets or anything like that. Broke too late then, didn't I? Lost all that time. That's because I carried more speed through turn 1, braked at the same time, and I don't think you'd use all those curbs if it was this wet normally. completely wrong, missed the apex entirely. Goodness me. It's not happening for me today, viewers. I blame the hot weather. It's absolutely roasting here. Almost hard to concentrate, I tell you. It's like, I feel like I'm in one of the cockpits myself. Too deep into the corner. Using intermediate tyres at the moment. Just using intermediates just to see how they grip. Gradually finding more and more time. I said 143 earlier, now you need a 141 to be quick. So times are falling all the time as you find more grip on this track. You know, it's really understanding of the braking point. So you're braking earlier than usual. You're understeering into the apex. So you need to account for that in your braking. Slightly unsighted there, but it's good because this kind of gives you that racing vibe. Rainy Steve does actually have an appropriate name. Absolutely rainy. We will go to the rainy tyres in a moment, indeed. End. Once the rear end becomes unsettled, it does seem to take a while before it comes together again. Losing a bit of time there. Still a lot of time to gain, so I think we've done enough. Oh no, let's exit that, and what we'll do now is we'll take a look at the wet tyres. So significantly more grip. The car was significantly easier to drive with the intermediate tyres. Let's just have a look and try out the wets. They have heavy wet. They don't have wet. They just have heavy wet. Okay, it's interesting. Alright, let's try these out. Again, you feel a step up in terms of grip. Just what I mean by that is the force feedback, the feeling through the wheel is there's more bite to it, whereas when you were racing with a soft it was very loose, very much seat of your pants driving. Now you've got more sense of where the car is under you, but the driving style is subtly different. The slicks were probably, for me, too grippy on the curbs and the lines around the circuit. This car has way more bite to the steering, but you've got to find where you are with it. And as you can see, the intermediates are ahead at the moment. Maybe the intermediates are a nice balance in these conditions. That's my foot doing its traction control thing there, where I realised, hang on. In a way, it's kind of strange driving this car. There's an understeer to it that makes it more challenging now. And you're trying to constantly account for that understeer, which I got completely wrong there. So I know I've got to angle that together. So for me personally, the intermediates were way quicker than the slicks. For me personally, that'll be different depending on who you are and your skill level. I lost it there, didn't I? I've got some wheel spin, and that was that. The end of this lap, viewers. Come on, let's get some speed now. Let's get some speed. Let's make it happen. Got that kind of wrong there. Had to brake a bit hard. Slow in, fast out. I have to cater more for the understeer. Focus on the understeer. Broke a little bit early there for the corner. That's what cost me. It's a quicker exit. Understeer, terrible through that corner. Disappointing laps, disappointing. improve. Got that wrong, unfortunately. Intermediate still a bit quicker, marginal mistakes, so they're about neck and neck I guess, but I just felt more comfortable with the slide of the intermediate tyre. Damn. Tried to keep my foot in there, but wasn't going to happen, so better, but... So overall then, intermediates on this particular setup seem to work best for me. I just felt a bit more through the wheel. That was important in terms of feeling the tarmac surface, a bit of bite from the wheel in terms of force feedback, but the car slid through the corners well. I felt I was in control of it with my throttle control and the way I drive. So I tend to steer with the throttle, which means I turn into a corner, a certain amount of lock, and then I progressively put more power down as the corner opens up. And if I'm understeering, I'll lift, and if if I feel comfortable, I can put more power down, and it works for me in that way. So, but between that and the wet, I think maybe a perfect lap with the wet would be pretty good. But I just found the intermediate work. But either way, very interesting, and we look forward to testing that with some racing online. And I hope you enjoyed it, and do tune in as well to some of the streams. Follow on Twitch, and then you'll know when I'm live testing various games, and do let me know whether you'd like to see more Gran Turismo on the channel, more streaming. Let me know. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.